squares. I'm going to do my 6 by 6 since it worked. And this will be easier for those who are trying to do something a little bit more complicated. Okay, so 2 even squares. I am going to start off by making my little, let me move it down a little bit. My little head of my dragon. It's kind of looking like a brontosaurus, so I'll make it a brontosaurus. Nah, it's got to be a dragon because this is its wing. So that's the next part. This part has to come in here, and then I'll get a shape in here. So instead, this is kind of more like a rectangle. He's a little close. I'll have him overlap a little bit. So these little brontosaurus are going to be real close friends. Oh, technically that part went down, so that's important. So that part is coming out of his neck. So I trace that and cut it out. So I have my beginning parts of a tile. I can be super complicated and go through this and figure out what's left. Oh, that's not even the right way. Oh, it went like this. And figure out this part and this part, but I'll take the easy route and I will start tracing on this paper. So this is going to be adjusted, my little brontosaurus guy. So I'm just going to start by tracing him overlapping himself, because that way I will not have to worry about the other stuff and I can figure out what that negative space is. So then I come in and trace, because his head is next to his little buddies. Oh, I forgot to trace his neck. So here I'm seeing a continued shape of a little triangle. So if I erase that, then he's just got a really broad neck. And even if I wanted to, I could make his neck kind of fit in, since I only traced the muzzle part, and make his head just a smidge bigger. That way, because the muzzle is the only part that's the same. Because that muzzle isn't affected by how big the head I make him be. So this could be my new tile. Now if I put him into a rectangle here, I would have this much, oh, I guess I changed his head height. This much piece here as extra, and I would attach that to the bottom, because that's the open piece that I've got. And here I can trace the bottom. And see where my original bottom is, because that's where I'm going to be adding it. So he's got a little piece at the bottom. Here, and I can test out my new towel on a piece of paper, of course, and see if it works. And it pretty much works, maybe a little bit of adjusting to make it perfect, because this point was here and this point was here, so it's going down a little bit. And this part does not work with the head, so that's probably why it's messed up. So I'll take that part out and see how it goes now. So if I go retrace it, that works a lot better. That's what I was messing it up. Gets my point. So now I know this tile works, and I would begin my project once I added those details. since it's kind of a basic ovular shape, you can add details. So if I want a mouth, and to show a mouth, I cut a mouth. That way I could flip it open and trace that line. And it could be the same line. Same thing with the eye. Figure out my eye. And I could cut out any little space I needed. And I'm going to leave it attached a little bit. That way I can flip it up and get that eye shape. And so there I've got an eye. So it's more exact. And if I want to do a little nose, because lizards have an interesting nostril slit instead of a muzzle. I've got a nose. So, there's multiple ways to do this. It just depends on how you want it done.